Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. Call InventHelp today.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-352-1609. That's 1-800-352-1609.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement, and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method, and to get your free report, go to 52security.com. That's the number 52security.com. 52security.com. Go to 52security.com.
Hurt or injured in a car accident? It can be hard to take the proper legal action after a car accident, but waiting can cost you more. The law requires car accident victims to assert claims promptly. You could lose out by simply waiting. Call 800-709-4667 right now to see what your claim could be worth when handled by a skilled attorney. With a lawyer fighting and speaking up for you, you could be entitled to a big cash award. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Now it's fast and easy to connect with the legal help you need after your car accident. Call 800-709-4667. The call is free, but you need to act now before time runs out on your claim. You need a lawyer to fight for you, protect you, and get you the compensation you need and deserve. Time's wasting. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Call now.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
You shouldn't have to pay to talk to the people closest to you, or the people who used to be. That's why Umbrella Wireless is proud to announce the new Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Now you'll get unlimited calls to your best buddy, your mom, or Cindy, once she realizes that you're seriously meant for each other and should stop screening your calls. Now the 30 minutes of agonizing silence where you're both afraid to hang up may drain your battery, but it won't drain your wallet. And you'll get unlimited calls just to check if she still cares enough to pick up, with no extra charges. With the Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, your phone will automatically answer calls from your ex, because maybe she finally realizes that you're the only one for her and wants to get coffee sometime. Now, after lonely nights of looking at pictures of the road trip you took together when everything was great, your misspelled texts are absolutely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the booze. The Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, because she wants you back. She just doesn't know it yet.
You're listening to
And we are back. Here is a WashingtonTimes.com story. When I saw this, I'm thinking, what? I didn't know this kind of thing really happened. And I didn't know that we needed to have a Supreme Court ruling on it. But justices rule the federal government can't seize California raisin crops just to prop up prices. Yeah. You heard me right. The Supreme Court ordered the federal authorities to stop acting like bossy Marie Antoinettes, ruling Monday that the government can't swoop in to seize someone's property without paying a full, fair price for it. Now, in this case, that meant rejecting the government's claim under an antiquated agriculture law that it was entitled to claim as much as half of a California raisin farmer's crop to maintain market stability and keep prices up for other raisin farmers. So, in other words, our government is in the business of trying to... They're stealing people's property. And just so they can keep prices higher. Think about that for a second, folks. Now, hearkening back to the Revolutionary War, Chief Justice John Roberts said property rights were a fundamental part of the country's founding, and that the government cannot casually trample on those liberties. The 8-1 ruling established two key tenets. Possessions such as cars, or in this case, farm produce, are entitled to the same kinds of protections as real property such as land, and the government cannot get around those limits by insisting that the seizure is being conducted for the owner's own good. In this case, a stable raisin market. It's not, the government should not be in the business of trying to stabilize prices. I mean, not in this manner. Now, the government has a categorical duty to pay just compensation when it takes your car, just as when it takes your home, Chief Justice Roberts wrote. Now, business groups, of course, are hailing the ruling as a major check on the government's grabbing behavior, but said it was stunning that it took a Supreme Court ruling to curb the federal authorities' appetites. Well, that's what it's taken for a lot of stuff. But you can be sure that they're still going to try to find ways around it and come up with new regulations or something in order to get around the Supreme Court ruling. But literally, technically, you can't. You can't take somebody's property is their property. It doesn't matter if it's real estate or a car or farm crops. So all you people out there who are saying, well, the government's going to come in and start taking people's, home produce that they grow. Well, according to the Supreme Court, they can't. Not without giving you just compensation. Well, they can say whatever they want is just compensation. No, to a certain degree, yes. It could be the wholesale price on something, which means then you're going to take that wholesale money and have to go buy your food retail. But, at least they just, in other words, if the value of the food that you grow is worth, $5,000 wholesale, then the government can't come in and just give you $2,000 and say, well, yeah, just deal with it. No. They're going to have to give you the $5,000. But, yeah, I know it's going to cost you $10,000 to buy the same amount of food that the government just took. I get it. I get it. I do. Now, the raisin ruling was one of a couple of decisions issued Monday that set protections against government power. Why we have to have these rulings? Why do we have to take some of this stuff to court in the first place is beyond me. Because we have an overbearing government. That's why. In another, the court ruled that laws that appear to infringe on Fourth Amendment privacy rights can be challenged on their face and don't need to wait for an egregious case to arise. In other words, this whole notion, well, you got to have standing. You're not gonna have no. I don't want to. I shouldn't have to wait for me to be harmed in order for me to get justice. You should be meting out justice before anybody gets harmed by this kind of stuff. But it is what it is, and now the raisin ruling is now, I guess, heating heating things up for the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And the seizure case stems from nearly $500,000 worth of raisins that the U.S. Department of Agriculture claimed as its share of the crop grown by California producers Marvin and Laura Horn. What are they, sharecroppers? This $500,000 in raisins is our share. Have you ever heard of the government having a share? I know that they give out subsidies for corn, and our government often pays farmers not to plant all their fields for certain types of crops sometimes, but I've never heard of the government saying, well, that's our share. What? Now, this is under an antiquated 1937 law meant to create a stable market for agricultural products. Now, the idea behind the program, farmers growing crops on their own would tend to produce booms and bust in supply. Well, yeah, because that's just the way the thing works. While a managed system would lead to more predictable supplies. Well, not if, it's a bust year. I don't know how long do raisins last, but you can't keep fresh produce around forever. You just can't. Now, the Horns refused to turn over their crop. Then the government decided they were going to be jackbooted thugs, and they sent trucks at 8 a.m. one day to collect them anyway. And the Horns blocked the federal agent's entry. Now, the government then fined the couple about $480,000 for the raisins and assessed a further penalty of more than $200,000 for defying the federal government. Defying. Oh, yeah, you can't defy us. Hey, there's a fine, $200,000 for defying us. Now, administration attorneys argue that since the raisins were personal property rather than real property, it doesn't really matter. It's property. It's personal property. Even real property is personal property. It doesn't belong to the government. It belongs to the individual who owns it. Well, it's personal property rather than real property, such as real estate, and the Constitution provides less protection. Really? Where does it say that? Where does it say that in the Constitution? It doesn't. Even if that weren't the case, the government argued the raisins were taken to maintain a stable market and were sometimes sold with part of the profits going back to the growers. So the growers were getting a fair price whether they wanted to participate in the program or not, said the government. Well, they didn't want to. So now you're going to fine them over, $680,000 for not wanting to participate. How does that make any sense? Yeah, no, we don't want to participate in your program. Well, you can't defy the government. We're the government. So that means, you're going to have to pay a fine of $200,000 for defying us. Yeah, you can't make this crap up, folks. And this is big government run amok.